Good afternoon to all the people who's watching us through this Facebook Live. We're about to start today. Claudia Uribe Sanchez joined us to talk about trends in human talent management. As a social communicator and a specialist in human talent management, she has experience as a director of this important area at our university. Claudia, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Maria Camila. How are you? Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this invitation. Consider this an opportunity to share a little bit about human resources management trends, the new trends we have been implementing after our world changed a little bit. So, as Maria Camila said, I'm a human resources management at the university with some experience, more or less 10 years, and a social communicator, and a person who really loves working on this area. So today we're going to have a space or an opportunity to share a little bit about the new trends that we have to implement after the pandemic. That was like a real milestone in our humanity that made us change, not only as a person or in the personal lives, but that made us change routines, the way we see world, and obviously the way we work. So we're going to start. Time to reinvent yourself. I want to start with this part of this picture because I consider that now is something about reinvention, something about how we have to change our points of view about, as I said before, not only our personal lives, but about the way we work. New world, new trends. So I would like to start talking a little bit about the human resources concept evolution over the years. We have some like important milestones through history that have given this concept different dimensions or meaning for our humanity. So I would like to talk about the first one that was like slavery. That was like the oldest. This concept about human resources is not something new. It's something that is coming from a long time ago, and in every phase it has changed and has given us different ways of seeing it. So talking about slavery, this was the oldest and of course the most cruel one. Was I consider a horrible practice to manage the workforce. As you know, here people was sold as an object. They have to work for nothing, and moreover, they were punished, tortured, and they have to face many difficult things. But it was like a way of managing people. Yeah. Then we have the serfdom. It was like the evolution from slavery. That the question was it really an evolution, or was that a change, a way of changing the concept but not the meaning, right? Here we have in exchange for the hard work, people were exchanged for hard work. The landlords paying, give them or gave them like food, a part of a land for them and their family, but they have to serve them because of that. Then we have the Industrial Revolution that was like the actual start of evolution of this concept in the 18th century, the 19th century. And here, with the unfolding of the new technology, we start seeing like different important issues that mark the evolution of the concept of human resources. We could the schemas for payment for sickness appear on this age. The housing, the subsidized price, they were like important in this part. Of course, the taylorism appeared too. That was something that really marked this space, taking us to the concept of training, where they discovered that training was necessary in order to do a special job in the best way. After that, we have the world wars that were like the great transition, or the greatest transition of the concept, where the women were recruited in order to fill the gaps created by men that were taken to the war. Yeah. In the 1960s, after industrial revolutions, were developed the lack of negotiation skills. They were more considered like employees, more than serfs, more than slaves. They were considered workers. And finally, the post-World War. Here we have like something about motivation. This concept started to appear, where we saw that people needed different inputs in order to do their job or their work. So that was like the evolution of the concept. This is important to have it into account, as I was saying, because this is not something new. It's something that has been changing through the history. Today, with the new war and new trends, I want to work, or I want to talk a little some key aspects or some key takeaways about the principal changes we have to do after the pandemic that was something that affected the whole world. Here we have, for example, nearly 60% of employees want to work remote full-time after the pandemic, according to one survey. Technology adoption and deployment is a priority as companies seek to unify dispersed digital-first workforces. Two-thirds of employees value when their feedback is heard and acted on. In the face of mental health, that is something that was like one of the key aspects in these changes. It's really important in order for the companies, in order to respond by providing resources, cutting costs, and taking other measures to support well-being. And data will be the new currency and core part of the human resources operates in the coming years. Ensuring employees have the skills they need is a top priority among business leaders. So we're going to start with the first one, that is like the virtual world. That was like the first part we have to face when we have the pandemic, that we have to think fast how we're going to work. We cannot go to the organizations, we cannot stay together, we cannot share like in the social life. So it made us reinvent and start like moving to the virtual world. This was seen around the world. Everybody was working from home because they couldn't go to the offices. And the Salesforce research offered perhaps the most accurate perspective. On participants in May 2020 survey, 69% agreed that the pandemic will permanently change the nature of work. Another survey in June found that working from home full-time would be the most appealing option, and for 37% of respondents, with another 32% saying a split between home and the office would be their choice. So it means, I think this change came to stay. Here we are going back to normal life, or we are dealing with the pandemic between us, but this virtual world came to stay, and we just adapted as a way of working, as another tool, as another way. It helped some companies to close buildings, to work from home, because it was like a useful way to connect to easier, I think. So that was like the first one. So going to the second one, that is like really linked to this first one, that is the double down on technologies. Companies, organizations were forced to go and start thinking about technology. They have to give their people, their employees, the way of connecting. They start investing on technology, and this is really connected to the first ones, because we have to find ways to connect, even though you are whatever. So digital is a technology that is linked to digital and virtual world came came to stay too. Um, this, according to the KPMG, is 76% of CS survey will build on the use of collaboration and communication tools, and 70% are more likely to invest in technology compared to 33% investment in worker skills. So it is really like important to mention here. People or companies, leaders are investing now in the technology. This is like not a like physical structure, more on technology, no buildings. This is like gaining a real important space in our communities. Similarly, the 2021 Deloitte Global Human Capital Trends report found that introducing digital collaboration platforms is the more important factor in sustaining this new way to work. Okay, so the third one, sorry, we have the virtual world, we have the technology or the need of technology or the way we started to invest on technology, but are we prepared to deal with this? Well, after the pandemic, we just found different ways. Some companies did it, some companies move on, some companies have to close because they didn't have the way, and they didn't know how and what and how actually. So this is really important, and it's how we move fast, reskilling, preparing our people in companies, our employees. So we need to start teaching, training our people in order to go the same way, or in order to start working with this new world. So challenges it include managers who are equipped to lead change, 37%, and employee fatigue due to the amount of change happening, 36%. It was really demanding, and even more for people that didn't know how to deal with this technology. So now companies are forced to start seeking and preparing people for these new trends. Then we have this that is like the key one, that is the mental health. Before, this was considered in the human resources department for the different areas, the health areas. But now it's like a key issue because it's real and it's true that people were very affected mentally after the pandemic. Yeah, so now we have to start investing not only on reskilling people for dealing with technology, which is necessary, but for the mental issues and demand that we have in order to accomplish or to achieve goals. One of the most palpable impacts of the pandemic has been its effects on mental health. And the Human Resources Management Report, the first half of 2020 found that up to 35% of employees surveyed experienced depression symptoms often, while 41% report work out and 45% said that felt emotionally drained from their work. So if we are not emotionally established, we are not going to be success. So which is this is a key factor in order to achieve goals. We have to consider we have in our companies not only resources, we have people that need to be trained and need to be helped according to these trends. the day, which is the diversity, equality, and inclusion, is another issue that has been gaining more and more importance through through the history, and of course the latest years, in order to work in a collaborative way, in order to accept differences, in order to give people the opportunity. So over the years, companies have faced increasing expectations, particularly from younger generations, to support their initiatives. Diversity, equality, and inclusion. Matters of diversity and inclusion have become part of the conversation as human resources professionals seek to address bias, unfair wages, and other problems. So this is something not only necessary for the companies, but that the law is demanding to check this point. Yeah. So after talking about these trends, there are many more. I just wanted to talk about this that I consider important for now. The question is, so what we should do, what is the future? I think that now we have to start getting out of the box. We have to start thinking about transformation and what transformation implies: process, creativity, innovation, ideas, development, change, rebuilding, rethinking, and all those things, in order to start to stay, because if we don't start thinking that way, we don't start like transforming the way we see things and the way we do things, maybe we're not going to survive in this new era. um, but of course we cannot apply everything except, because I consider we as we as human beings are different. Of course, we as organizations are different. We have different needs. So we have to start looking what is better, what is the best for our companies, what is the best for our people, for our human resources. And in that way we can start applying what is okay for us. And of course, the first thing we have to think about, the first thing we have to consider, is that we have to start transforming our minds, and transforming the way we do things. I just wanted to talk about this and to share this with you. I don't know if there is any question, maybe Maria, to answer.
No, there is no questions. I want to thank you. Thank you for sharing this important information with us, and also to our viewers, as everyone who's watching us. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this process, this information. No, I don't have questions. Let me see. Let me check. No, I don't have questions. Thank you again. And Claudia, I don't know if you want to say something to.
No, I just want to remark that we are companies as human beings. And
Yes.
we have to think that other human beings, or other human beings that are with our work as companies, they have a whole work inside. And we have to start like linking these works in order to have the collaborative work we want. And that's it. I don't know if you have any question, you know where you can find me. Thanks for the space, thanks for this opportunity, and see you the next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. See you in another opportunity.